We live in a world where it's easier to be the best version of yourself than to simply be yourself. Look a bit tired? You can use a filter. Need your emails to sound more professional? Why not trying Grammarly? Need to pretend you're somewhere you're not? I'm sure there's a Teams background for that. And need to perform better? Get that life coach from that unskippable YouTube pre-roll. He will reorganize your life. We've become accustomed, if not addicted, to these quick and easy digital tools, to a point where, without them, we end up feeling uncomfortable, embarrassed, lost, naked. In a way, we all need those digital tools. And to be honest, we are all in the same situation. So let me just read a quick quote from Mark Zuckerberg. Having two identities for yourself is an example of lack of integrity. The days of you having having a different image for your work friends and for the other person you know are probably coming to an end pretty quickly. This is a quote from 2010. So today it's so easy to create new enhanced personas that, we all do it. But back then, can you remember that Facebook was urging us to embrace their real name policy so that we were the same online and offline? So my question today is, where do we stand 12 years later? So let me ask you a few questions. Who here has a LinkedIn profile? Very surprising for a business school. Let me ask you a second question, and please keep your hand raised if you had it up. Who here also has TikTok or a Tinder or an Instagram account? Pretty much the same. Keep your hand up, because my joker question is coming. Who here would be comfortable having the same profile picture and bio on Instagram or Tinder and on LinkedIn? Looks like we've lost quite a few here. So my name is Priscilla Rossi. I've been working for the last 12 years in advertising as a strategist, and I've also been running a fashion and beauty and trends, you name it, lifestyle, beauty blog as a side over the last 10 years. So just like you, I exist through different identities online. It's really, I think we all do it again. But to be honest, they told me you'd be around, 200, 300 people approximately in the room. But if I had to consider all your different personas, I believe would be maybe more than 1,000 people here right now. So I hope you bought your tickets accordingly. I have to be honest. It's super it's super hard to keep it real these days. I'm sure we all know that person, who has two Instagram accounts. One that is the official one, super polished, sophisticated, neat poses, perfect caption, the smart one, the official one. And the other one that is a bit more, casual, no filter, a bit stupid sometimes, but more spontaneous. You know how we call those accounts. It's like the spam account or the Finsta for fake Instagram account. This is, to me, the proof that we are all fed up with sharing perfect things online. It's what I call the perfect feed fatigue. So I think that's the reason why an app like Be Real has been created. Have you heard about Be Real? Yes? If not, you should. You should check it out. It's one of the best, and not one of the best, I don't know, I'm not even using it, but one of the most downloaded social app right now in Switzerland. So basically, for those who don't know about Be Real, it's an app that gives you every day a strict 2-minute window during which you have to take a photo, front and back camera, of what you're genuinely doing. So it might be you, watching Netflix, making dinner, running, studying, or just doing nothing. It's fine. This is really the purpose of Be Real, to show that the daily, ordinary things of daily life are also worth sharing. Sounds nice, no? No likes, no filters. Sounds cool and genuine. But you know what the best part is? Is that only 9% of Be Real users are actually sharing their very first photo. Listen, I know very well how hard, again, it is to put your true self out there. I was a pro myself, if not the GOAT, at changing my personality to fit different situations. I'm not talking hairstyle yet, but it's coming. To be honest, while growing up, I often had to, again, change myself, my personality, my way of being, just to feel more accepted, liked, appreciated. So let me give you a few examples. As a mixed-race individual, I would often find myself, a bit torn between, not torn, but juggling between two ethnicities. Why? Because I would receive a completely different treatment, whether I would be with my white dad or black mom. As you can imagine, one side has more privileges than the other. So funnily enough, I would think like a laundry detergent. How can I be whiter than white? So I can access those things more easily. So I would create a more, let's say it, a whiter persona, just to fit, again, certain situations or privileges, have access to them. Another one, as most of the time, the only person of color in my class, I would never be able to just be. I would always have to prove, to demonstrate. Again, I guess because of some racist biases, but also because I would rarely look like the smartest in the room. So I would embrace an overly studious persona to get there. And let me give you an example, because I learned it the hard way. So back to school season, I think I was around 11, and we had this new professor, nobody knew it. And he's like, I want to evaluate your level, so you're going to have a quick test, and everybody's going to take it. And a guy that I'm going to call Robin come to me, and because he knew I would have I was a pretty excellent student at the time, so he would know that I would have a good grade. So he asked me whether he could sit next to me to basically copy off me. And I was like, yeah, no problem, not a big deal. I'm almost pleased to help, like I'm flattered. So I accepted to have this Robin sitting next to me. He copied off me, and the day after, we received the results. And Robin gets an outstanding 20 out of 20, and I get a 0. With a red note, thank you, Robin. So this is the day I really realized that I had no other choice but to embrace this super serious persona, just because that's the only way I would be taken seriously, unfortunately. So those are just 3 examples to show you how many times I had to change my personality to really, again, feel accepted, or just actually be reflected as I was really in real life. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional here. 2 events, luckily, helped me go through that and actually embrace who I really was. I had to at some point. The first one is meeting my husband. So when Axel and I started dating 13 years ago, something extraordinary happened to me. I met a normal guy. That was quite new to me, because in the past I would have been this girlfriend, who would feel so obliged to copy his passions, his hobby, to, feel a connection. That, with Axel was just normal. I was like that. I was feeling amazing, feeling loved, feeling interesting, feeling beautiful, just by being myself. And that was quite new. And to be honest, it feels like he almost had bought into my spam account without seeing my super curated feed post or feed, on Instagram. So that was quite refreshing. And thanks to him, I managed to feel elevated just the way I was, and to really feel more comfortable. So that was, let's say, level 1 of confidence in my life. Level 2, as another life event that really helped me to embrace myself, was to launch my blog 10 years ago. For some reasons, I decided I would, share my looks, my selfies, my dog photos, my outfit of the day, my makeup, you name it, pretty, candidly online. Again, that was kind of a spam account way of doing things, and it was certainly not the best version of myself, but it was myself 100%. Unexpectedly, my blog became quite well known, and I got some great visibility. And what's surprising is that it made me super, proud, but also super anxious. Super anxious because I would feel petrified by the thought of having my colleagues or my clients, stumbling upon my blog posts. Now, how this person, who's sharing outfit of the day and top 5 best red lipstick for this winter could seriously take care of my brand? How is she the strategist of this agency? How is she part of the brain team? Well, at some point I couldn't, prevent them from stumbling upon that, and surprisingly, this blog became a killer asset. I realized that many people, whether brand or companies, were interested in my expertise, my personality, or my way of approaching things. So it gave me opportunities I would have never envisioned. I became a TV presenter. I met people and artists I loved. I visited many places. I'm even doing a TEDx talk today, so it was quite a good deal at the end of the day. So let me just give you, and before that, again, to basically sum up, those two things, or including one people, the blog and my husband, really helped me to realize that I was enough, that I don't need to pretend to be someone enhanced, exaggerated, or just changed to thrive. Again, I'm enough, and like I'm doing in my companies in terms of branding for brands, I know my strength, I know my values, obviously I know my limits too, but more importantly, I know my worth and my mission. This is really something that makes me think that I will never let anyone take that away from me, and no one will ever force me to change who I am, whether it's my partner, my boss, my job, a situation, and certainly no social media. So let me give you 3 reasons why I think we should all be a little more, 3 reasons why we should all be a little more real, especially online. The first reason is safety. I really believe that people who are embracing and displaying a consistent, authentic, and transparent way of being are just more reliable. They contribute to a safer world, a more human world, a more inclusive world. And that's actually the world I would like for my children. Number 2, again, a reason to be more real, is well-being. Designing, again and again, new personas, every time a new platform emerges, it's not sustainable. Studies show that it can even lead to multiple personality disorders or depression or just sadness and anxiety. That's not what we want. So in this context, breathing your truth is true luxury for your health. And the last reasons why we should all be a little more real is ownership. What if your favorite platform, the one you've been working on so hard and investing all your social efforts to exist, to be considered, to be liked, to be, just to be here and exist, disappeared? Would you disappear too? Look at Twitter right now. And I have to be honest, I was very scared that Twitter would be already at the end of the story for these TED Talks. But look at Twitter. It starts to be very tragic for all those people who've been relying on this platform to, again, share, be known, just communicate, and as I said, sometimes exist. We don't want that, again. So don't let social media steal your most magical and fundamental parts. Own them, even outside of the online world. Own them and cherish them and make them, live outside of social media. I can see there are lots of students in the audience today. So here is my message to you and to the younger generation in general. Never be embarrassed to show who you are. It can't be wrong if it's you. It can't be fake if it's you. So just go and promote all the dimensions that make you you. The professional talent, the passionate side hustler, the multitasking dad, the determined activist, the TikTok dancer, the Twitch superstar. Just go for it and be transparent. Yes, employers screen social media. Sounds like a threat, but take it as an opportunity. Not only will you stand out, but you also be an incredible source of creativity for those around you. I'm lucky enough to evolve in an environment that encourages singularities. I work in advertising. And I really, really hope that the corporate world was a bit more open. I believe authenticity and just the fact, of being real is the kind of extra we all need today. The fear of not being enough and the fear of being too much are exactly the same fear. The fear of being you. This is a quote from Nayyirah Waheed, and my last message to you is, I wish you all to feel empowered, to get contentment and pride, living your whole unfiltered you. Thank you.